Hey everybody, welcome back to the Spinnerrack. I'm here with my boy, Pete Cal. Sorry about that, Cal. You two get me confused sometimes. So today we're going to be discussing Coming to America 2. Say what's up to the peeps, Cal.
Going on, ready to rock, people.
Hey, so today, this is Eddie Murphy's sequel to the original Coming to America. Here in this film, what we have is that Eddie Murphy he needs a son to inherit the throne of Zamunda. And so he has to go back to where of all places, Queens, to see if he has a son there. He's told he has one. So he goes there looking for a son. And somehow we didn't see this scene in the movie, but Arsenio Hall, his best bud, got him involved with some chick who was able to, Leslie Jones, who was able to, I guess, got pregnant. That's the 411 right there. So this is what the whole setup is. He brings them back to the Zamunda, have him go through quote unquote princely trials so that he can become the new king of Zamunda. At the same time, we have a couple of different subplots. One, his daughter had been trained to become queen, even though technically she couldn't become queen. And two, you have Wesley Snipes, who's from another country, and he's trying to take over Zamunda. He's been knocking at the door forever with his military. So, hey, I'm going to kick this off to my boy, Cal. Cal, what were your thoughts about the movie? The whole premise behind it. What do you think about that? That he had to go back to America to find his true heir.
There was a line in the movie that I thought summarized it very well. And they were talking about, who wants to see, what about making movies or sequels that people never really ask to see? And that pretty much summarized this movie.
Whoa, I kind of disagree with you. I think that this was such an iconic movie when it first came out that people wanted to see something else, and I think because of the success of Wakanda, Black Panther, that, it definitely gave the impetus for it to be done. I think, though, for me, in terms of this whole film, the premise that you had to have a male heir, I felt a lot of things in this film were like somewhat older, things that you would have seen in older movies, basically, and you would not expect them to actually show up here, in 21, and March of 2021, basically. I just felt some of the stuff was a little older. But was it enjoyable? I think it was enjoyable. Now, the premise behind the son, though, again, it's like, I thought that to me was a little difficult to get over, because the one key thing here that he didn't do in the whole thing is he didn't take a DNA test. You know what I'm trying to say? I guess the court witch doctor basically said, you got to go to America, you have a son. And that was it. And I'm like, huh? Eddie Murphy actually had an interview. He said they had like several drafts, and at the third draft, I think they were thinking about having Tracy Morgan be his son, but threw it out because they're like, nah, he's a little too old. But I'm like, I think it's just that he wanted to have certain elements within the movie, such as Tracy Morgan, who was the uncle, and then he had this whole new kid. What's your thoughts on that?
They actually thought about having Tracy Morgan as his son?
That's what he said. He literally said that.
They look, at the end of the day, I thought the movie was cute. Okay, if you enjoyed Coming to America, then you could sit through this. They ran through a lot of the same stuff they did before. You saw just about all of the same characters that you did before, with the exception of the ones that they, newly created, like the Witch Doctor. It didn't. The trouble is, Coming America was a really good movie. Yes. And that showcased a lot of the talent that Eddie Murphy and Arsenio Hall had to bring to the screen. The biggest one that I thought a lot of people were surprised for was at the end of the movie when they realized that Eddie Murphy was actually in makeup, and he played one of the guys in the bar. Like the Jewish man, the Jewish senior citizen, Jewish older Jewish man in the barbershop. And it went to the point of, wow, nobody knew it was him. The makeup completely disguised him, but then the voice, nobody knew it was him. So this was him, and he was just clicking on all cylinders. This is like a retread, a lot of that stuff. So yeah, it's cute. It's, if you got Amazon Prime and you're already paying for it, why not see it?
That I agree with you. I agree with you there. If you have it, why not? I think especially at the beginning, there was this. I thought one of the best pieces of this whole thing was the funeral for the father. Where they have like Salt-N-Pepa, In Vogue, Gladys Knight. The midnight train to Zamunda. I thought that was hilarious. Her famous song, she changed it to the midnight train to Zamunda. Ooh. And What a man, what a man, what a mighty good man. Talking about James Earl Jones, who at the very end of the scene passes away and leaves it to Eddie Murphy. But this is one of the things that got me. He went to Queens. The whole thing is that he wanted to change, and I think it was brought up by his wife in the film that, hey, you wanted to be a change, and here, you're still keeping almost all the same situations that happened before. And when you say it's a retread, it is such a retread, And I guess that's what they wanted. They just said, hey, let's give people exactly what they wanted to see, and that's what it is. I found though the story with the like I said, some of the topics from like 1980s mold, some of the comedy was like, this is kind of old, probably we should have done something a little different. And they had a tremendous opportunity with all the talent. But like this, the whole thing with the daughter being passed over and how they worked it out. I've seen comics do a better job than how they handled it. Animated shows, sequels, not sequels, series. But I just thought that the way they handled it was a little flat. But I love the fact that they brought in all those old characters. Even the girl he was supposed to marry, who is related to Wesley Snipes, and she was still barking like a dog and hopping on a foot after all these years. But you figured they would have seen each other, right? Why is she still doing that? But it's kind of crazy, still crazy, what was going on. Another thing too in the show, standout, bro. I think Wesley Snipes. Jesus, he sold it. He was
I
great.
thought he did a good turn as the.
Oh my gosh, I was not expecting that at all.
What was the name of the country? Next Doria.
Yeah, Next Doria.
Yeah, I thought he did a pretty good turn there.
Yeah, he was fantastic.
Like, what's going on over there with Next Door? What's going on Next Doria? The stuff with him. The stuff with the the daughter wanting to, of course, sit on the throne, and this, I thought that was maybe that would make for good conflict at the end of the day. I didn't think that was old, and it brought in. It brought in pretty much the only major conflict of the story was him being able, whether he was going to sit on the throne, pass the trials, or if it was going to be her. There was really no other major thing at the end of the day. It would have been just a lot of just a lot of comic setup.
Yeah, it's just crazy. But I love, like I said, overall, I'll give this movie like a B plus. Just because it's such a retread. Sometimes it seems like comfort food. You go into it like you saw the original Coming to America. It's not as good. So I'm going to tell you straight as that. It's not as good. And this movie is just like, all right, I saw the original and I want like the original is like full chocolate ice cream, and this one's like chocolate ice cream with sweetener without any sugar. You're using a sweetener instead. So it's a little bit. It's chocolate ice cream, but it's not the exact same thing that you expected. But you do have the thing of seeing all those people who were in the previous movies coming back and stuff like that. One thing people keep saying, where's the Queen? Unfortunately, the Queen, who was married to James Earl Jones, passed away. So that's why she does not show up in this movie. Of course, they didn't have the budget like Star Wars to just like put her in, like in Rogue One, where they made the Moff basically back into the movie and stuff.
All those people, where's the Queen? Why don't you do your research before you start yelling anything? Maybe people aren't there. You ever think that?
Yeah.
Okay, where's the Queen? I already know. They're getting ready to go into outreach mode. Oh, look, this, that, and the other. That you can see them gearing up. Like, no, she's dead, man. She's dead. She's dead.
Yeah. So listen. So again, I think I give it a thumbs up. If you have like Cal said, if you have Amazon Prime, take a look at it. I think it's if you have time, it's a nice light show. Get yourself to enjoy it. Nothing major and stuff like that.
Yeah, if you like the first one was sexual chocolate. This is more asexual chocolate.
Yeah, I know. So hey, thank you everybody. If you like what you see, give us comments, give us a thumbs up. Spinnerrack
out.